So before rigging with launch control, there are a few things we need to check on the model. So for this particular model here, you can see how our entire wheel, including the rim, has been tagged as wheel.fl. So as it said in the documentation, you're supposed to tag the tire and not the actual rim as the wheel or as the tire, because launch control is using the size of the tire, the geometry inside the tire, to calculate the height. Because we're using the tire and the rim, we are actually getting a little bit of an offset pivot point. So it's slightly offset to the right in here. And the reason for that for this particular model is because of this mesh here. So this geometry is making the wheel unbalanced right now. It can also be if you have some sidewall textures here or sidewall details that are not textures but actually geometry. So all that can cause the pivot to be offset when you're rigging the vehicle. So the best thing to do here is just take the tire, hit P to separate it, and then use this one to rig, and take the rim here, select the tire, Control P, Object Keep Transform, and now the rim will just be a child of the tire. That means that this tire here will have the correct pivot in the center, and when we are spinning it, you can see how that looks fine. Another thing that can happen with some car models is that they have some pre-applied camber inside the file. So camber is basically when the tires are tilted like this. And this again will also cause issues. So if I were to take these wheels and let's just say individual origins and spin them around, this would happen. And the same thing will happen when you rig them with launch control. So always make sure that these do not have any camber before you rig. So either straighten them up manually, or sometimes you can go in here and then find the rotations and just reset that to 0. And now you can see how you have perfectly spinning wheels. So wheels have to be absolutely straight, and they have to have the tagged object has to have equally distributed geometry, which means that the pivot will be calculated to the center of the wheel. Another thing to do if you cannot make the center or the geometry perfectly round or centered, you can go into the add-on preferences inside launch control, and then you can turn off the automatic tire pivot. This setting here would basically, when turned off, it would keep whatever pivot you have set. So this is the pivot that's currently on the wheels. It would keep that pivot for your model, no matter where it is. That means that you have to be very accurate with the pivot. If the pivot is up here, so let's say something like this, launch control would rotate your wheel like so. So be careful if you turn the setting off. You have to make sure the pivot is absolutely correct. So the best thing is to keep it on and then make sure that the object you're tagging has equally distributed geometry. Stuff like this, where it also has some geometry up here that's sort of flying in the air, can also cause issues because that again will make it unbalanced. So for this particular model, what I will do is go around and separate the tire for all the meshes or for all the tagged objects. And then make sure to take the rim, which is inside, parent it to the tire. So the rim is child of the tire. Let's just do a quick check to see if these are actually without camber. They are. Everything rotates perfectly around the x-axis. This one doesn't. So that one we just need to align. This one as well. Perfectly spinning wheels. Great. And now the last thing we want to do is just hit rig vehicle. And now we have a rigged vehicle without wobbly wheels.